What if I told you that Christmas and Easter aren't purely Christian at all, but ancient festivals, branded and wearing a new name? Tonight, I'm going to take you into the old world, where bonfires cracked the winter sky and spring rites woke the earth. And then, politics stepped in and said, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em. And the rest is holy history. Let's start with Christmas. In midwinter, we had Saturn's week of mischief. So close your eyes and step into ancient Rome in late December. Streets are overflowing with music. Masters are serving their slaves. Gifts are traded in little bundles. Laurel and evergreen hang from doors. It's Saturnalia, the righteous festival of Saturn, the Lord of sowing, turning time, and turning cycles. This is where, for a few wild days, Rome is going to flip its script. The rules loosen, laughter wins, and people are going to feast to push back the long night. It's a warmth that is a defiance against the cold. Feels familiar, doesn't it? So fast forward a few centuries, a new faith is rising. But the people still crave their midwinter joy. They love their festivals. Then all of a sudden, it becomes a birthday celebration for Jesus that appears right where Saturn's party used to stand. Weird, right? So late December, that was known for the festival of Saturnalia, all of a sudden becomes Jesus Christ's birthday. In late December, for Saturnalia, the mood was merry. There were lights that were blazing through the darkness. The festival simply changed its name, but the spine of it was this winter cheer. It was about gift giving, a whole bunch of greenery, and all of that remained. So let's talk about the tree. The OG story is called The Tree That Never Died. The evergreen, fir, pine, holly was the ancient world's miracle tree. It was a living green tree that refused to bow to winter's death. It never died. So in the north, folks would bring these trees inside to whisper, life survives. While in other places, they decorated the living trees or raised carved poles to honor life's return. When you see a glittering Christmas tree and you never could figure out how is this connected to Jesus' birthday, it's not. It had nothing to do with it, but it had everything to do with the festival of Saturn. This symbol existed long before any nativity scene. It's a pagan ritual for endurance, a promise that the sun will return, the sap will rise, and the wheel will turn again. Beautiful, absolutely, right? But how's it tied to Jesus' actual birthday? It's not. The tree is part of the old world and has nothing to do with Jesus or his birth. It is a pagan ritual. So now this is Act 3, basically. Spring's secret, the Lady of Life. While the snow melts, rivers break free, birds go frantic with songs, and fields swell with green, across the ancient Near East, people honored the powerful goddess of life and love. Ishtar, she was the queen of heaven, patron of birth, growth, and sweet chaos of desire. So what symbols do you think her season had? Eggs and rabbits, hello. She was a goddess of fertility, and the eggs and bunnies that represent Easter are her symbols. The eggs are like tiny little worlds waiting to explode into life. And rabbits, well, they multiply like rabbits. So when spring festivals return with painted eggs, playful bunnies, and sunrise rituals, you're just seeing a fertility pageant dressed in pastels. So here comes the Christian layer afterwards. All of a sudden we have Easter, a resurrection theme laid across the same season when the earth resurrects itself. Sunrise services echo dawn rituals. Feasts and flowers echo the old rites of renewal. Basically, they renamed the party, but spring keeps on telling the same story. Life refuses to stay buried. So let's talk about the emperor who read the room right. So here's where I land based on my research. The Emperor Constantine looked at the empire and saw a truth. The people wouldn't abandon their festivals. So he didn't try to erase them. That would have been dumb. He simply rebranded them because the guy was a genius. He put a Christian face on pagan bones. It's the oldest trick in the power book. literally. So we unify the crowd by letting their favorite rituals survive under a new banner. Therefore, he united the Christians and the pagans under one blanket. This is where I said he used the playbook of you can't beat them, join them. Or better to claim the calendar, shift the names, keep the rhythms. So now Saturnalia becomes Christmas, even though it had nothing to do with the birth of Jesus Christ. And the evergreen, that was a Norse pagan ritualistic practice, that becomes part of Jesus' birthday plan, apparently. Spring is now associated with the resurrection of Jesus, but it was already a festival. This is why it can't be a festival about the resurrection, as it was a festival of fertility. The Spring Ishtar festival, even the name Ishtar, Easter, I mean self-explanatory. So the Spring Ishtar coded fertility carnival gets woven into Easter's resurrection tapestry. And just like that, the empire keeps its heartbeat while the church gains the crowd. So now we're at Act 5. Why are we still doing this? If you are Christian or Catholic, knowing that these are purely pagan festivals and rituals, why are we still doing them? Think about it. Humans are seasonal creatures. We ache in winter. We bloom in spring. We need parties that match the sky, basically. So these festivals endure because they speak to the body, the soil, the sun, the miracle of midwinter lights, the pageant of springtime life. New names, but these are ancient rituals, and they are pagan. So it can still be the holiday of all, but this is the truth behind it. When you light a Christmas tree, you're touching a promise older than any sermon. Life stays green somewhere, even in the cold. When you crack an Easter egg, you're breaking open a symbol that the earth herself invented. Birth after darkness. Call them Christian, call them pagan, I call them human. These are rituals we've carried through empires and edicts because it works on our souls. So if you're asking me how all of this fused together, I'll tell you my theory plainly. Constantine never killed the old gods. He basically hired them again. He let their festivals keep breathing, just putting them under new titles. And the calendar we live by today is your receipt. We are still living in a pagan world, just cloaked under names of other religions that came afterwards. So knowing this, does this change your wish to celebrate Christmas or Easter?